Because I've been playing against a few of these cheeky European Zergs on the ladder, and they've been smashing me with Reynor style. Anyhow, speaking of the guy himself, spawning in the top right, playing for Team Clash, it is Reynor.
He's confident, he's cocky, it's well-deserved. In the bottom left, he's no different from Kaiser Gaming, the Korean Terran player. He is INnoVation. Ooh, nice and heavy, I like it. All right, INnoVation wins the Rift War, at least for game one.
That is definitely some funk. By the way, so I don't think this is going to be like 3-hatch before pool, but
no,
a lot of Zergs have been doing this recently, which I haven't seen them do for a long time. And, you know, for a while it was like, hey, why don't you guys just drone scout for proxies? And it's like, cost too much, man. It's too ridiculous. But no, they've all started doing it now. And I do like this because INnoVation, he's not that super predictable Terran. Even though people call him the machine and the robot, it's not because he's predictable. It's just that he stays with what he knows, right? But he has been known to absolutely whip out proxy raxes here and there. He can absolutely do it all. He's actually a very tough Terran to play against.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just like the machine playstyle. It's the machine in that he can keep his emotions in check. He is a professional gamer through and through, where it just seems like, you know, he could lose a bunch of maps in a row, but still just reset his mind and approach the next map like the first 2 didn't matter, or the first 3 didn't matter, and start to fight back. And with Reynor's drone scout, he showed this against Maru and against Special, actually, where he would go for that drone scout at the start of the game, just to make sure he's not being proxy raxed, because he's been very vocal about how he feels about the barracks is getting down early for the Terran on the other side of the map. He's like, GG, Terran wins if they get it down. But you know, he's just making sure that he's dotting his I's, crossing his T's, and dotting his lowercase J's, that Terran's doing nothing sinister here, and it's the standard opening that he's looking for.
Yeah, and like they're both playing very standard as well, which is nice to see. This is what I want to see. No shenanigans early on. And even INnoVation opting for like the SCV scout before he sends out the Reaper, just in case it's something very, very cheeky from Reynor. Because, you know, for a long time, Koreans were like, the only way this European can beat me is by doing something crazy, right? But Zergs definitely recently have been showing a lot more versatility in their openings, be it like pool first, these weird Ravager openings and stuff. And this is a new map. Hasn't been in the pool for a long time. So I like the respect that both these players are just showing each other. That queen is not like that other queen.
Oh, you know, sisters fight sometimes. It's hopefully they can bury the hatchet and get amongst it, because they got a job to do right now, and that is defeat INnoVation, which is no small feat. This time, I think when INnoVation last played on Ice and Chrome, he actually did try to go mech. I think that was against Serral, actually, when he was playing against Serral in group stages. He went for mech on Ice and Chrome, sort of battle mech though, but didn't manage to get the win in Serral in the end. So it does feel like a pretty good map for Zerg overall, just because you have that space. You know, you have that not just the length, but also the width. You know, it's a pretty thick map with several Cs.
It certainly is. I think this could be like a Hellbat attack or something, actually. And yeah, the armory goes down as soon as I say that. One of the reasons that I thought that was he continually produced Marines off his barracks. Like, he's been very sharp with making sure he's building as many units as possible. This supply depot finishes just in time as well to whip out even more Hellions. And yeah, he's been not making SCVs like continuously while this has been going on. So this is going to be quite committal from INnoVation. Also a nice way to start off the series against Reynor.
I like it. You know, it's something that's definitely not as common in the series as it used to be. We've seen some Hellbat pushes and that sort of thing, but I feel like they've never worked for a while. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like the Hellbat attacks get deflected pretty well by Zergs at the moment. Not as strong as they used to be. It's also not Hellbat Banshee, which is usually a good marriage between the Hellbat and the flying unit. It's going to be Hellbat Liberator, so let's see how INnoVation does here. He does have a few bio units in the medevac as well to assist with a bit of extra DPS.
There isn't a Baneling nest done yet, and Reynor is really respecting this, making a wall of Evo chambers that is natural. How many lings are out on the field? Only 8, so Reynor has definitely played greedy, but Reynor is buying good time here. This funnel that this army of INnoVation had to walk through. Medevac very much under fire, but these Hellbats doing much damage on these queens.
Yeah, if they can get a few more queens here, it's going to be absolutely fantastic for the Terran. And he does pick off the medevac, so no more healing for these Hellbats, but more Hellbats are coming through. 2 more coming in from downtown. They're in the drone line right now, so it's not just queens at the ready here. The drones are also exposed. 5 of them have gone down. Reynor pulling them to the edge of the map. He needs these reinforcements. He's got enough lings to hold this, about to pop out. INnoVation is denying tons of mining here, and he's really reset that queen count.
But where are the Liberators? I mean, like, there are Liberators somewhere in this supply. It's plummeting massively. And right now, in fact, where is it? It's actually attacking the Overlord. Wait. Where is it, Maynard?
In the main.
Oh my gosh.
Mate.
So many
those drones.
Look at the supply. 30 to 64. Wow.
You know what? We've seen Reynor lose a bunch of drones and still come back and win the game later on. But that's just too much damage, man, especially when you've lost not only your drones, but your army as well. You have no queens, you have no lings. There is nothing there to stop the Liberator and to stop the Hellbats from just continuing to barbecue Reynor. And a very quick, decisive win there for INnoVation with a Hellbat attack, no less. That's really good there. Great stuff.
That was super beautiful by INnoVation. Like, that's very much a build where I'm like, it either works or it doesn't. You know, it's very reliant on the Zerg just either not playing too greedy or not cutting too many corners. But the fact that his Baneling Nest was so late there, and, you know, he only had a few queens out in the field, not many lings either, he really got caught with his pants down. And what a build by INnoVation to throw out at his opponent. He did it beautifully. Also, the queen range change means that the medevac can stay alive for a little bit extra time there as well. So, I mean, that build definitely got a kind of indirect buff, I suppose. But yeah, Reynor was way too cocky there, because you can't be doing that. You can't be cutting corners against INnoVation.
And that was actually just it's a build that I sort of, double down the fact that we don't see it too often, the Hellbat attacks. It has mixed results, and they haven't been great lately, but it does seem specifically tailored to actually be very effective against the way that Reynor likes to open. He wants to cut all those corners. He wants to get into that mid game as strongly as possible so that he has that healthy late game. We've seen, again, Reynor lose a dozen drones or even more, like 15, 16 drones, and still have that 80, 90 drone count in a couple minutes later because he's got those fourth hatcheries. He's got a bunch of queens, he's got injects, he's got creep spread, he's got everything he needs, and he gets that safe spot in the hive. But we are in game 2 already. It's on Golden Wall, and this is a pretty decent map, I feel, for this fella's race on the far left. In the blue, from Clash, the Italian Zerg, he is Reynor.
That was definitely some fun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side as our red Terran, it is INnoVation.
INnoVation getting a bit of the southern rock there, so a different taste for both sides. I like that we're changing things up here. As the players change their builds, the rifts also advance.
Is he going? He's going CC first, Maynard.
Yes, I believe so.
I haven't seen this in quite some time against Zerg, and I don't know how he's picking his builds or why. Oh, is this CC at the back?
Oh my. Okay. No, this I definitely have not seen. When a CC first happens, it's almost always in the natural. This doesn't make it... I mean, it makes sense, but not a lot from Reynor, from INnoVation, rather.
So I think... Okay, bear with me here. So...
All right, I'm ready.
So the drone obviously scouts, and I don't know if he noticed that Reynor does this kind of stuff. Like, Reynor is very much like just making sure that he isn't proxy raxed in any way. By the time he has Ling show up, like, aggressively, and he sees, like, the natural going down, because this is most likely going to be very quick 3 bases, even though I say that the 2 gases do hop down. I think Reynor's not going to be aware of what's going on for quite some time here. Like, I think this is quite some studying done by INnoVation to see where the Overlords actually end up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the drone scouting for Zerg, generally, if they're going to do it, it's to make sure they're not being proxy racks, and then the drone gets back to work. They rely very heavily on the Overlords to actually see what the Terran is building and what they're up to. The Zerg is generally like a little bit more of a reactive race, and at the moment, with that double gas, INnoVation is going to have a factory relatively quickly here as these 100 gases up. There it is. And yeah, I mean, has to mine out that back rocks before the natural is done, but I guess in the time that he gets that orbital up, he will have an opening for those SCVs to transfer back there.
Certainly, and like I'm just looking at this, like technically, so Reynor sends his first Overlord up to the map and then kind of like back to be outside his natural. It's his second Overlord that's crossing the map. So Reynor right now, he's probably just like, okay, this is a bit weird. Like, a Reaper hasn't turned up, but is that really indicative of anything super crazy? No, but definitely not like this. So INnoVation immediately choosing to take the bottom sect of this map. And I love this, because even though I talked about how INnoVation has to get ready... Oh, it takes a third gas. INnoVation has to get ready for the lurker play. Reynor also has to get ready for this kind of stuff, because I doubt that Reynor's ever played against this. 4 gases, BCs, it's got to be, right? Or...
Yeah. I actually think this is BC Mech from INnoVation to start things off with. You're going to have so much gas income.
And by the way, he still doesn't know that there's no natural in the normal spot here. He did probably see the Marine outside the mineral wall here with his Overlord, but yeah, this is super wild.
It is. I actually love this from INnoVation, because at the moment, I feel like Zerg's been doing a very good job in this map. Fusion Core does get dropped. BC's confirmed. So we have seen, 2-port BC, please. Please, INnoVation. Please and thank you. I'd love to see it. We have seen this map sort of go Zerg's way, I feel like, a little bit, because it is such a larger map, but it's generally like all the fighting happens on the top 2/3 of the map. Reynor's going to get in here with a Speed Overlord. He still hasn't seen where that command center is, just assuming it's in the natural, I'm sure. But he is going to at least see the BC tech. Oh, does he, though? No, he doesn't. Not yet.
You know what's super cool about this too, Maynard? Is the fact that he didn't have to make that extra wall at the bottom of his natural ramp. So that's so much infrastructure he didn't have to bother with, because it was just like, no, I'm like, obviously he has to make a wall over here eventually, but he already has that protection from the minerals that his opponent has to mine to get back here. He's got this Marine kind of watching here, so he can potentially deny these drones as well. Is he going to do that, though? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I've honestly not seen this build on Golden Lord just yet. I have seen 2-port BC, and as has Reynor, thanks to the Overlord eventually getting amongst it, sees it there. So continuing his Queen production, as you have to do here as Zerg, and Spores probably to respect it as well. It's 2-port BC. This isn't just 1-port BC. This is very, very, very nasty when those BCs finally arrive.
And a second Marine as well goes to the other spot where the minerals can be mined from. So INnoVation, he's all about checking his like vulnerable spots here, which is also super awesome. Double BC and Yamato in production here. But Reynor, he knows what's up now. He's producing spores. This mineral line has been farmed through, and that is a lot of Zerglings. But INnoVation, he's already got that wall ready, it looks like.
Yeah, that looks like a full wall off here for Inno. He's got a tank up there about to join in, a couple of Marines behind that wall, and that's all you really need. The Lings are going to get deflected here for now, and it's just about time to call in the fleet, Ben.
It certainly is, and 2 BCs showing up this darn early. This is exceptionally quick, and I'm not sure. He is going for his 3rd CC behind this, so it's not a super all-in committal here. It is going to be a macro follow-up, and that's a lot of Queens already to greet them. Reynor's definitely handling this very well so far, I think.
Yeah, that's enough Queens to go for the 2 BCs together. Or Spore's going to meet him, though.
But no creep between the bases here, Maynard. Even though I think Reynor's dealt with this very well, these Queens are moving so slow between these bases right now.
And INnoVation, just to talk at the follow-up here, is going double engineering bay and grabbing his extra barracks. So it's going to be a bio follow-up after a multiple BC opening and Yamato. So usually all those things lead to mech next, but this is very different from Inno. He's going to really invest in these BCs, even more so than the start of the game with these multiple starports. The BC's not achieving too much. This defense from Reynor, pretty solid so far.
I'm looking at the production tab, like he's not producing any more BCs with those 2 starports that he made. So it was all about getting them out quickly and hoping that they deal damage, which they kind of haven't, right? But now he's utilizing the extra tech lab for this barracks. He's going to have stim and combat shield very quick. So he's not just relying on 1 tech lab on the barracks here. Like, he's going to get 2. So this could absolutely be a massive push follow-up that arrives a lot faster and a lot stronger than what Reynor's actually anticipating.
Yeah, this is we've seen this before from Terran, where they show a battle cruiser and then they switch immediately into a tech lab barracks and start getting stim and go for a push to try and punish something like Corruptors from the Zerg, or too much investment in Aspire. Oh, BC's exposed a little bit. They do have tactical jump if they need, so not expecting them to go down. But this is, I think, now the more we talk about it, I feel like INnoVation's selling a story. He's saying, hey, make a bunch of Corruptors right now. Don't worry about that ground army. There's not going to be a ground army. I'm going mech here. I got double BC. Who goes double BC into stim? No one.
Not just stim, like stim and combat shield at the same time. With and like he's getting his armory nice and early. Granted, Reynor's done a good job of pumping out the upgrades. He's getting like +2 carapace as well. Yeah, and scouting. But look at this by Inno. He's actually just expanding along the bottom here. He's not even taking his normal natural. So I'm liking a lot of this play, expanding towards your opponent, just making sure that wall off into your main is secure. Very, very unusual play by INnoVation, but I love it.
We got the BCs at least finding the Tatchery down here quite naked, but that's just one of many here for Reynor. Oh, the Lings are even around here on those Marines. They don't have combat shield just yet. And he actually is going to get some tanks as well. Lovely little run by there from the Italian Zerg.
definitely a lot of supply lost, though, and did lose his base for the time being. And INnoVation, his economy isn't slowed down at all. Immediately starts up his +2/+2, and Mutas are the unit of choice for Reynor to tech into here. So it's not the lurker play that we've seen so often from him. It's Muta and INnoVation. He's going up to 8 barracks before he gets his 4th CC down. So this is very much like the textbook INnoVation, where he's going to go for a big rally push by the looks of it.
Certainly. Going to be Lingbane Muta here to deal with the Biotank, which definitely can get the job done, but it's such a weird path to get there. You know, the journey is just as interesting as the potential destination. Well, the creep being cleared up here in the middle of the map, but the creep spread still looking quite nice from Reynor. And with that cream count, obviously, you know, the creep spread is going to continue to be an issue for INnoVation. Goes for the Yamato. Oops! That saves that BC there. It's deep in the red, though.
Absolutely bang in time, and also gets the scout off on the Muta, which is a big deal. So turrets immediately thrown up there. Those Mutas aren't going to fly in and just get to wreak havoc without being spotted beforehand. Turrets look like they're going to finish just in time, and INnoVation has Marines well planted here. Reynor's drone count is definitely good. In fact, what did it just go up to there? We're at 79 versus 69 on the worker front. It's good for the Zerg, but it's not terrible for the Terran by any means.
69 workers for Terran. Very nice, very nice. 2-2 on the way here for Reynor, and we know that with that 2... I don't remember the last time that INnoVation got 2-2 upgrades and it didn't marry up with some kind of tank push. That's just almost certainly going to happen for him here, and he's going to use the backside of the map for that push, and there it goes. The BC's even coming in to assist now that they've been healthed up thanks to the SCV repair.
You know what actually makes this way harder for Reynor to deal with as well? These 2 BCs that are kept alive are such good tanks against the Muta, which is so darn annoying to deal with. And Reynor, like, he does see that the army's moving out here, and he is getting a nice amount of banelings and stuff, but upgrade-wise, that 2-2 finishing here, it's going to be nice and early for Inno, and Inno just being calm and patient with this push. I like how they're both approaching this game.
Yeah, and I mean, there's great creep spread on the north in the middle of the map and the north side of the map, but at the bottom side, not so much. That's not where Reynor's been prioritizing his creep spread. So the push down here to the south, if he can get rid of this hatchery or get through that hatchery, then he's got access to the main, and that's when things get really rough for the Zerg. Reynor, of course, does have most of the map controlled. He's got. It looks like this map is at least 50% Reynor at the moment.
I mean, yeah, even more so almost. Like, this bottom base is being cancelled and stuff, or not even taken. Pushing through these minerals is definitely going to be tricky. INnoVation's going slow about this push, and the Mutas, in fact, you see all that blue on the minimap right now, it's going for a different location here.
He can try and poke the front base of INnoVation, try and crack the main potentially, but he also has that mind out in the middle of the map as well. So if he wants to come in from the backside and sandwich this force of INnoVation, he can absolutely do that as well. But Reynor really trying to crack open that main and get amongst the production. And the wall is open. In come the Lings with Banelings to follow. Not that much in the main here for INnoVation. His production is definitely under threat. Here comes the reinforcements on the natural, though. Is this enough for a minute to fight back? Nice splash damage on the Mutalists. They're getting very low here.
Oh, the economy hasn't been truly ransacked yet. INnoVation's doing a good job of keeping most of his SCVs alive. In fact, just 4 SCVs falling. And the main for Reynor, he's kind of evacuated it, because how do you deal with this? Like, this is a good squad of Marines, got the tanks on the low ground as well. And also, it wasn't a hive, it was just a lair. Wow, look at Reynor, by the way. He's already got a new lair already done, realizing the weakness here. So he's definitely done good crisis management behind all this.
Yeah, and playing a much different style than we've seen when he was playing against Maru, of course, wanted to go to Hive Lurker, but trying to play a little bit more reactively to INnoVation, going for a little bit more of a dedication to Tier 2. He does have his Infestation Pit, which means he does have access to Hive, but he's kind of stuck in a weird place here where he's like, okay, I have a lot of drones, but I have to keep making units at the moment because INnoVation's army is so large, and I need to have that ability to stop it if it gets out on top of my creep in the middle of the map, which is starting to move in. Oh, the Muta's going for that Thor. A bit of a magic box there from Reynor. The left side of this Muta's taking a lot of damage, but calling the fight correctly, the Zerg going to take a lot of the Terran's tanks, and this production facility is down here.
Oh, INnoVation, he's actually going through the middle path here, through the minerals, and his main base, all the Mutas are wreaking havoc over there. There is a nice squad of Marines, though, to deal with them. Is Reynor looking? He's having to fight in 2 places at once here. Quite a bit of his supply is falling. The Yamatos are going off. Siege tanks, not siege here. So many Banelings and Lings overlapping everything that INnoVation has, but INnoVation stands very strong against it.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing there for INnoVation is that he has a lot of Marines alive because they're about to benefit from 3-3. There it is. Now it's a bunch of 3-3 Marines, and Reynor is caught with very abysmal army supply relative to the Terran here. This Mutas can't do anything. They can't get anywhere near these medevacs and these Marines, and a reinforcement through the middle of the map. Creep be damned. Can these Banelings get the connections they need? Oh, I mean, there's a Baneling for every Marine here on the front line, but there is still a rally from INnoVation. Looks like he's pulling back. He's like, oh, okay, that's a lot of Banelings. Might have to take a bit of a breather here.
I think the most impressive thing for me behind all this, INnoVation's been macroing like a beast. He's actually secured the gold base on the wrong side on Golden Wall here, and he's taken a 5th base in the bottom left as well, which Reynor, oh, he looked like he was honing in for it, but you can never anticipate that INnoVation's going to grow this quickly, so ignored it with the Mutas.
And the Mutas coming on in. 2 turrets are complete, and the 3rd one really close to being done as well. Mutas kind of stuck a little bit there with the Marines on the north side and on the south side. The medevacs, I mean, so many medevacs here for INnoVation. He's got 12 of them actually still alive and very, very healthy. And without Reynor, you know, he doesn't have Hive. He's got no Vipers. He's got no, you know, late game at the moment for the Zerg, which I'm getting very nervous about. Yes, INnoVation is being held at bay for the most part, and Reynor is still alive, but the Terran with the 3-3, when the Thor count gets a bit higher, the Marauder count gets a bit higher, I just can't see how Reynor continues to take favorable engagements here.
It's going to be really rough. Like, his creep spread is damn good, and he continues to spread it. This is nice, though, getting that run by there behind on the gold base while taking a fight at the same time. This is a lot of economic damage being done to INnoVation here.
The Banelings are certainly being very annoying. INnoVation can't raise that wall. There's Zerg units on top of them. Look at the spread of Marines here with a Thor offering a lot of hit points there to this push as well. 11 more Banelings on the way for Reynor, and these need to be the best Banelings of his life because there are still so many healthy bio units here on creep. He gets a lot of SCVs for sure. He's got a great economy, but right now Reynor needs units, and he needs them yesterday.
Oh, he certainly does. The supplies are still very close. 166 for Inno against 157 for Reynor. But a lot of that is the fact that there's only 48 SCVs on the map, but 83 drones. But a lot of them can't mine right now. Reynor doing some good counter damage on this gold base. There's no more SCVs there, taking down the Liberators as well. Reynor's doing a good job in this frantic situation, pulling back all of INnoVation.
Oh, stuck around a little bit long there. Lost 1 Mutalisk. Definitely could have been way worse. INnoVation actually boosting the Thors and those medevacs there. Desperate to try and intercept these Mutalisks. Now, I mean, Reynor is trying to make lemonade with lemons right now, but he is absolutely having a bit of a sour game. This is very, very tough to come back from this position for the Zerg. He needs a lot of Banelings. He needs a lot of Mutas. He does not have the freedom or the breathing room to get up to Hive here. He's going to start going towards it, but by that I mean tier 3 units. Look at the gas count of Reynor here. Yes, he may have a Hive, but it's going to take him quite a while before he is able to have anything actually tier 3 here on the map.
The craziest part about all this is the fact that INnoVation is actually mining more than Reynor, despite having like half the worker count here. He has just done such a good job of growing, and that bottom left base of INnoVation totally neglected. Reynor still does not know about it, despite expanding right next to it.
I think we found out why INnoVation was mining a lot more. I just saw a lot of mules expire on that planetary that Reynor doesn't know about. Ling's trying to go for a counterattack, but this is where all the bio has been rallying, and there is a lovely push at the north side here. A potentially game-ending push from INnoVation in the north 12 o'clock location. Banelings looking to intercept with the Marines. No creep spread here for Reynor anymore. INnoVation turns and fires. Oh my god, the Banelings are melting. Can they connect with the Marines?
Oh, this is some Marine split challenge right here, and INnoVation's doing pretty good. The trades are definitely in his favor. Oh my gosh, the resources lost tab. You cannot be trading like that when you're also kind of getting outmined by the Terran. INnoVation just marching forward on every part of the map. Yes, there's Mutas inside his main base, but there's defense everywhere. There's aggression everywhere. INnoVation is doing so well in this game.
He certainly is, and Reynor just cannot spend this gas bank at the moment. He's got his Banelings rolling in for one last hurrah, but it's just that. There's just too much for the Terran. The Thor's still alive all game long, managing to just soak the damage from the Zerg here and offer that anti-air to the Mutas as well. INnoVation's composition and also army size and upgrades way too powerful here, and he's on top of that Hive. He's where the sporting pool is. This is where all the tech is as well. I think Reynor does not have long to live in this game.
Reynor's doing a really good job of shutting down the economy of INnoVation, because in his mind he's like, okay, he's only mining from the gold base, right? But no, there's that other far left base. All the overlords falling for Reynor as well. And INnoVation, Reynor must be thinking, man, how do you have so goddamn much? Because there's units absolutely everywhere. Reynor kind of falling apart, supply block, trying to make more Mutas as they're the only unit that's doing something for him right now. But INnoVation, just too much.
Yeah, the only threat to INnoVation is these Mutalisks, and even then, all he needs is just a little bit of anti-air. He can actually lose a lot of SCVs, and it doesn't really matter because he's just got so much army. And there goes that Mutas. There goes that one advantage that Reynor had. Oh my goodness, they are just not going to be too much more useful in there. There goes the Hive. The Spire's exposed. Infestation Pit, and there's the GG. INnoVation with the 2-0 lead in this series. Mate, what are we doing? We were just like, oh, Reynor's ZVT, too good, too good. He hasn't shown us that style that we kind of addressed as the reason why he's very good in this matchup. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that this INnoVation has not let him get there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is what I really wanted to hone in on when I said, like, INnoVation, when they call in the machine and stuff and the robot, he isn't easy to play against because he absolutely can do anything. And very often, I know, like, when he first came up with the name INnoVation, it was like, ha ha ha, this guy, he isn't innovative. But going for this double starport build from a CC first to the back of Golden Wall, then doing this very, very extremely quick transition to bio with it all, like, he absolutely is innovating. And he definitely knows how to make his opponent uncomfortable by, like, kind of doing something that is fairly, like, he transitions. His point B is absolutely what other Terrans do, but getting there, he did it in a totally different way, which Reynor was probably thinking, man, can I really go lurkers against this? Like, this is really weird. I have to do something kind of now, right? And yeah, it's just beautiful series planning by INnoVation thus far.
Yeah, he's done his homework, and it's paying off in spades right now. He's on match point against this Zerg who, you know, he claims that he's like, you know, I get to this certain point, I have like a 95% win rate. He's like, one time I lost against Clem on Golden Wall, but that's already a pretty good map for that kind of defense as a Terran, because you have that extra part that I can't really access. And I am just so excited here to see this incredibly, you know, I guess, calculated play from INnoVation and these Galaxy Brain strats of going double BC, even getting Yamato, switching into Stim and just being like, I'm just going to go instantly straight into the south side of this map and ignore the top part completely until after I've killed your main. What an incredible way to play Golden Wall. This is more, I guess, ammunition for the Golden Wall is great gun. This map really shows some unique games. Absolutely.
And just everything about it, too. Like, he put Marines in those mineral line positions where it's like, okay, if an attack comes through here, I really need to think about this. So he's like, okay, where are the weaknesses? Here and here. Like, I blocked these off. Like, so now I know what to do. How he utilized the tech labs afterwards for the combat shield as well, like just getting that online very, very quickly. It was just all very, very smart by INnoVation. And the first game as well, it seems so long ago, but INnoVation's absolutely playing wonderfully here against Reynor. And he's not allowing Reynor to really get the game that he wants. But Pillars of Gold, it's a more difficult map to really kind of throw something, like throw a wild one out there. So I'm looking forward to this one, Maynard.
I am as well. Let's just get amongst it, man. Talkcraft is over. Let's start StarCraft. I want to see if INnoVation can get himself a 3-0 if we start to see this fella in the top right fight back. And it is from Clash in the blue, the Italian stallion, Reynor.
Banging. Spawning in the bottom left, currently 2-0 up. It is INnoVation.
All right. Sounds like the band is taking a back seat and they're just letting their guitarists just have a bit of fun.
Okay. Immediately, by the way, the two SVs go out, but they were greeted by an Overlord. And it was like, you know what? I'm just going to head back home. So did Reynor not see it, by the way? Because he's still scouting.
He might. I mean, obviously the Overlord did see it, or rather, INnoVation saw the Overlord. It could be one of those situations where he saw it, but he didn't see it, in air quotes, if you know what I mean. Where like maybe he saw the edge of the SCV, but didn't see the blip on the minimap. But or maybe he saw the SCV come in and just leave, and he's just like, you know, I could maybe get the lower ground hatchery. You know, my drones having a look around. There's no 3 racks here.
But we can definitely say that the start of this game, INnoVation wanted to bring the other brand of Terran, the cheekier brand of Terran, with the proxies and the bunker rushes and all that jazz, and it didn't work out for him. So a little bit of a lost mining for sure. Definitely not the start that INnoVation wanted, but game is not over by any means.
Nah, it's barely begun. We do have just a regular Reaper expand here from INnoVation with the SCV getting back on the map again for a little bit of a scout. And also, if in tandem with the Reaper and all things go to plan, you can sometimes delay that third base of the Zerg a little bit. But it feels like that only works against, not super great Zergs.
Certainly, certainly. And back at home, despite the unorthodox opening, or rather the opening that kind of got thwarted, everything's going back to standard. So the barracks first, getting the Reaper out, then the Marine, opting for the CC on the low ground as well, going for the SCV scout. Like, both these guys have been very diligent about their scouting, like continuously looking for those proxy rexes with the drone and scouting with the SCV, showing a lot of respect to one another.
Third base of the Zerg almost ready. Doesn't quite have the minerals for it yet. Reaper coming in there for a bit of that Reaper tax, but Reynor does not want to pay it. He's avoiding the tax, man. Good control in these lanes. Good control in drones.
I do like as well that Reynor, like this just shows you that every mineral and every bit of gas counts. Like, he could have started his speed quite a bit earlier, but then he sees that the Reaper's coming and he's like, okay, I'm going to delay speed here and I'm just going to get down that third immediately. So just these little sacrifices that you make, because why do you need speed that quickly when you can get down that little bit of extra greed going? It's the little things, Maynard, it's the little things.
That's what life's all about. We do have that 1-1 going down for INnoVation, the 1-1-1 into Reacted Hellions. Interested to see what he goes for on the barracks. There's nothing on the barracks just yet. In fact, he's making some Marines here. And usually a couple Marines from the barracks with no add-ons does lead into a battlecruiser, because those Marines exist to get rid of the Overlord and try and keep that fusion core unscouted. We'll just keep an eye on the production here for INnoVation.
Yeah, he actually... So even though his build, he didn't go for like the Reaper, then the Marine. He went for the Reactor, and that might have been because the timings were a bit weird, right? Because he had to send his SCVs back home in a rush. Is going for that fusion core, like you talked about, though. So he's going to have like 2 Marines to deny scouting, getting the tech lab on the starport as well. This might be a mech opening by INnoVation here.
I mean, I feel like BC openers are like 60 to 70% going to be mech to follow up with, because it is just the most popular way to follow up with that battlecruiser. The other Marines on Smoko here, he's like, all right, get in here, mate. I can't do this all by myself. Overlord's going to get a scout and see no upgrades on that tech lab. And nothing in production on the starport. And did he actually... I'm going to have to check the vision here.
He did.
He did. Okay. That slow Overlord really did nice there for Reynor. And I think that INnoVation should maybe dock the wages of that second Marine that just sat there staring out into space.
How funny, too, by the way. Like, of all the places you can put your fusion core, like below that gas, like really out the way in the corner.
Yeah, it's a big main. You could put it right down there.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to plonk it right here, mate. Right below the starports.
I mean, what if it's one of those 20,000 IQ plays where he puts it there going, oh, it's like it's far enough back to make him think that I'm actually going to dedicate to battle cruisers, but I'm just going to get the one and go stem again or something like that.
I mean, it could have been like, because he hasn't been super greedy with anything else. Like his third CC, it's a normal timing. He's actually getting Yamato with this as well.
Okay.
And by the way, as soon as Reynor scouted the fusion core, he was like, boom, Roach Warren immediately.
I like that a lot. I think that, it seems counterintuitive because roaches don't shoot up, but I think that one of the strongest follow-ups for a battlecruiser scout is actually a lot of roaches. Now, because you have your queens and spores to stop the BC from killing your drone line, and then you know that your Terran is they don't have gas to spare here. They have Hellions, basically. Maybe a bunker if you're unlucky, but a roach counterattack can be very deadly.
It's also very good against like the potential combo of BC plus Hellbats, right?
True.
If you actually have roaches out, which he does, he has just a handful, just enough to deflect any sort of aggression here. Nice by him. Lings, are they getting into the natural here? They are. They're greeted by some Hellions, but not quite enough to hold them off. This is a nice little counterattack by Reynor.
Absolutely. He's absolutely going to find some SCV damage, and he's not done yet. The SCV's getting into the main base, but so are a handful of Lings. They're already in there finding some damage, and the Hellions getting pulled right back from the other side of the map. And that has been a lovely little counterpoke there from Reynor. As we do see the second and third factory go down for INnoVation, it is going to be BC mech. So having the Roach Warren already, I think compositionally is nice for the Zerg. So you kind of do want roaches against early game mech stuff.
Certainly. And, just a handful of roaches, like it was the perfect number, right? Just to deflect and make sure he didn't take damage. The queens were in good positioning. This game, Reynor's looking very, very good. Like he didn't go up against something that he hasn't seen before. This was well and truly mapped out, and knowing when the Terran lifts up their third at the wall as well, like just in his mind, he was like, okay, this is the perfect time to do an attack. and he did it while deflecting everything. Beautiful play by the young Italian.
And just a handful of roaches there to deny the Hellion attacks there, the Hellion harassment. And with the Spire follow-up, Reynor has access to Corruptors if he needs it, seeing if he wants to actually go into them or not. He probably should. I mean, this is looking like, INnoVation is going to just continue to make at least 3 BCs here, potentially 4, and just keep them alive all game long, as mech players generally do when they open this style.
Very curious about how INnoVation's going to choose to... Because he has to do something to get back into this, right? Like, I don't want to pretend that those Ling attacks ended him or anything like that. This is a nice way to start things off, though, utilizing that Yamato, taking out a few of these queens, maybe a third. Nice transfuses by Reynor, making that as hard as possible to take them down.
Yeah, it looks like he's bringing back some of the lava-injecting queens here to assist, as a couple of their sisters have gone down, and with the hit points getting pretty dry there for INnoVation, he does move out there with the tactical jump. Corruptors are being built here for Reynor, and he's complementing that army with roaches. So that style of Lingbane, Hydra, into Lurkers from Reynor, again, it's going to potentially not happen in this game, or at least happen way later.
Oh, I love these turrets that INnoVation's putting down, by the way, because like the amount of anti-air that he has in his army is pretty low. I'm a little bit surprised that they aren't like more forward turrets, but just making sure that his production is well and safe. Gets to see the Corruptors now, so he knows what his opponent has teched into. There is a forward turret, actually. Nice play, nice play.
And INnoVation actually has to rely on these turrets to stop the Corruptors from just, caustic spraying him. Is that Roach counterattack we're kind of talking about? There's not a whole lot of anti-Roach just yet from INnoVation. There are some tanks, and of course the BCs are alive, but that's where the Corruptors come on in to try and clear the air.
These are the forward turrets that I was talking about rather, Maynard here. So the Corruptors can't just like absolutely lump onto the BCs without getting shot, and they're done just in time. But is there enough INnoVation to stop this big aggressive push from Reynor? Nice holding so far, preparing the BCs as well, and this is a lot of turret damage as well. Those Corruptors absolutely melted in the sky.
No, you're absolutely right. This is looking like it's doing a ton of damage to INnoVation, sure, but the battle cruisers are still alive and very healthy. The natural's been cracked open, a handful of roaches and ravagers here. They're very, very hurt. Splits the roach off deliberately there to avoid splash damage, but he is still annoying INnoVation here in the natural. He's killed 15 SCVs, and he's got another flood of Lings coming in with some more ravagers. That third base quite exposed, and the turrets, the Sim City here that helped them so much in that first wave, is starting to go down.
It is, but Reynor is very, very committed to killing INnoVation at this point. There's been no drones made while this is going on. He's still on 4 bases. He's not taken up to Hive or anything, but I think he's done really good damage, probably more than he wanted to, actually. But losing all those Corruptors, getting that count absolutely reset, definitely problematic for him.
Yeah, there isn't a very good late game plan or any late game plan here for Reynor, so he has to keep his foot on the gas pedal and make sure that the Terran dies right here, or he is going to be getting free zeroed. In come those Lings, a couple Hellbats, but definitely not enough, and in comes some fresh Corruptors as well. The repairs need to happen here on these mech units to keep them up. These BCs have got Yamato again, connecting on that Corruptor. They do take it down. The Roaches and the Ravagers continuing to rain those biles from above. More Yamatos coming in, or just a singular there on that last battle cruiser. One goes down. I think INnoVation's been cracked here, Ben.
I think so as well, Maynard. He is almost half the supply of Reynor. These tanks come in from the backside, but Roaches and Ravagers in bigger numbers do quite well, and GG is called. Reynor takes a map and gets back into this series.
Oh, I'm so happy here. I mean, I was very, very excited to see INnoVation start off so strongly in this series, but also super excited that we're not just going to be a 3-0. It is going to be a Game 4, potentially a Game 5. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, that Game 4 I mentioned. We'll see you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. I am Maynard, and with me is Demumu. We have got ourselves a pretty banging series right now. Not only is it my favorite matchup in the video game, TVZ, but it's two of my favorite players in the whole world facing off. And it's still not done. We're in Game 4. Reynor did manage to get a map there. He's staying alive. Can he take this to the ace match, Ben, is the real hot button question I got right now.
I mean, skill-wise, he absolutely can. We're getting down to Death Aura, which is it's one of the new maps. It's a little unusual with the speed zones and stuff, but honestly, it's a really good map. Can INnoVation continue to pull out weird stuff against Reynor? Because that's where he's really been getting an edge against him. Because when it came down to the very, very standard map, it was very obvious Reynor knew exactly how to dismantle INnoVation.
Yeah, every single game so far, INnoVation has just been like, no. I've seen what you're like in your comfort zone. We're not going to let you get there. You are going to be uncomfortable every time you play against me. Let's see if he keeps it up here in Game 4. In the bottom right, the Korean Terran sending out those early SCVs. He is from Kaiser Gaming, Mr. INnoVation.
And spawning over in the top left, currently 1-2 down, it is Reynor.
All right, the band is back. They've stopped having a break, joining guitarists. All right, let's see if these barracks get scouted or not. Yeah, triple racks.
By the way, ballsy move to go for proxy barracks when your opponent's been drone scouting every game, right?
I mean, does INnoVation know that Reynor's been drone scouting every game?
I mean, oh my gosh. Is this actually in the one place where he doesn't drone scout?
No, he has to scout it. It has to be scouted, surely. Oh, no, he's not going to. Oh, my God. Yes, there it is. Okay. He does see it.
Okay. So what does Reynor do now? Is it close enough to pull drones? It looks like it. So he's going to be doing that, and he does see 3 barracks, and he's really, really committing to absolutely canceling this. Goes for the SCV, but the SCV RNG right there. Just took it to the nice position.
It is. So second barracks is very close to done. The third one is definitely under threat here from the drones. Oh, that second barracks does get denied there thanks to the drones of Reynor. And it looks like INnoVation, I mean, he has to make a very hard choice right now. And it looks like that choice is to bring more SCVs into the fray to make sure these barracks get done.
What a odd fight. Like, if you tune in right now, it's like, hey, man, these guys are worker rushing each other right now. And that's exactly what's kind of happening. INnoVation has to get up these barracks. He's committed so hard to getting them up now. Reynor also committed. That's surrounding that SCV as well. This is going really, really poorly for INnoVation. Does get the second barracks up, though. Back at home, he's not been mining barely anything, though.
Yeah, Reynor still has a ton of drones out here alive and fighting the good fight to try and keep that barracks up. The third barracks again is going to be denied here. The drones, oi! There we go. All right, gets that SCV. There's 3 Marines now. They certainly are.
Okay, so a third barracks, which is like 95%-ish done, but Marines are starting to be made. Is there an orbital even done for INnoVation? Okay, the orbital is done, so he is getting his mules going and stuff, but losing how many? 6 SCV so far when you're the one doing a rush? What a weird game, Maynard.
Yeah, and Reynor's like, you're not going to get anywhere near my natural mate. Here's my lings. The drones are still out here fighting your Marines. They're running out of map. Drones surround and body blocking those Marines so they can't escape their certain fate. And yeah, I mean, INnoVation's not able to get anywhere near. He can't even dream about getting a bunker anywhere near that natural.
No, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, Reynor's been very thorough with drone scouting absolutely every game, and these are in a fairly obvious location. I think this was a super ballsy play to go for. That being said, it isn't. The spine crawler makes you think it's super over if it does get up, but...
Yeah, the spine means the end here, and also just the ling count out on the map. I mean, obviously, these lings don't have speed, as Reynor's not been mining any gas, but the ling count is still pretty convincing against the Marines that INnoVation has been able to train out of these barracks.
I guess in INnoVation's mind right now, he's like, wow, my opponent really had a lot of drones out on the map for a long period of time. Like, maybe his economy is super screwed up, but... it's still not a good situation for INnoVation here. Like, his opponent is getting a pretty good workout. Showing the CC behind the wall here. You think this could be some Galaxy Brain plays where he cancels it and then brings all the boys?
Yeah, just cancels the command center and pulls every SCV along with his, 3 Marines? Oh, actually, he does have 4 back at home, I suppose, or so. Oh, no, way more than 4.
Yeah, getting all your Marines cleaned up like as soon as they're spawning. Reynor's done such a good job of showing, hey, if you do actually scout this with a drone, this is absolutely how you hold it off. I did like that by INnoVation, though. We lined up the production there of the Marines, so they all pop out kind of at the same time there, like kind of rising their chances of actually surviving.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because 3 Marines popping out at once can actually, fight back and potentially pick off some lings. If they do go down, at least they take some lings with them. 1 Marine at a time, that's no bueno. I still feel like the Spine Crawler is absolutely the MVP of Reynor's defense here. INnoVation does have a bunch of Marines. Oh, he's going to get an Overlord. That is going to supply block Reynor.
Small victories, small victories. Needs a lot of them to go. Does see the Spine Crawler up front.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Queens of the Spine just doing all the work right now. The Lings taking their time.
Yeah, and Reynor's so confident that he even cancels the second Spine as well, which I think is the right move, honestly, because he doesn't really need anything else. And these barracks floating away too. That's the end of Marine production for the time being.
Yep, so the defense is in, and we are getting towards the next phase of the game here. INnoVation's trying to block a third with the barracks, but he's way late on that. Sorry, mate. Got bad news for you when that barracks arrives.
Yeah, I think he doesn't realize how far behind he actually got with that kind of opening. Like, seeing the slow lings is one thing with the barracks and stuff, but seeing that third going down and like multiple queens, the creep spread's going to be getting out of control fairly soon too, with no way of really stopping it. Reynor's in a really good spot this game.
Yeah, I mean, the game is not over. I actually like that INnoVation's trying to go for, a triple CC here, like trying to get back to where you normally would have as far as an economy goes for Terran, but he obviously has a quite amount of decline here. Reynor's got a really beautiful spot. He has got complete dominance on the map, and there's nothing that the Terran can do to damage him, so he's saved the drone quite a bit. And he still has those, like a lot of lings here. So with speed, can he just overwhelm the natural?
These Marines are definitely in a good spot, but if Reynor wanted to, like if he went into, oh my gosh, is this the bait of the century? It looks like it.
It is the bait. The Marines trying to get into between the minerals here to try and take a good trade against the Zerglings, but I think after leaving that ramp, there's still too many Zerglings, and that natural is getting overwhelmed. He does at least close off the main base. Fusion Core right at the edge there for the scout of Reynor. Like, Reynor's going to see this Fusion Core, but I don't think he cares. He's done so much damage, and the Terran's essentially one base again.
He is one base again, Maynard, and this is a 31 supply INnoVation against 82 supply Reynor, getting all the gases like spotted as well. Yeah, you got 2 Hellions out, which can defend your wall, but everything's been spotted by Reynor. He's in his comfort zone here, and he's toying with INnoVation at this point, I feel.
Yeah, he's pushing him around a plate like a vegetable in his meal that he doesn't want to eat. He's just moving him around with a fork.
Absolutely
like, all right,
is. Look at that work account, by the way. Look at the income tab. Jeez Louise.
I mean, and that's the right call. It's just because he knows that Terran can't do anything about his drone count. How this game started. So he's getting out big rounds of like a dozen plus drones, knowing that his Lings have got himself map control still. And he's got his lair to finish. He's grabbing all his gases. I think he's just going to go straight to Spire.
If INnoVation can come back from this kind of deficit against a player of Reynor's caliber, I will be a fan of his for life. But yeah, you're absolutely right. He has not just like a hill to climb. This is a true freaking Everest right here. Yep.
This is a tough one. There's a lot of bodies stuck in the mountain of people that tried to come back from this location. If you're using the Everest analogy. But when the Spire finishes, honestly, Reynor could mass a lot of Roach Ravager here. He could make a bunch of Corruptors or just a lot of Mutalisks. And those are things that are very hard for INnoVation to deal with, because everything that you would normally have at this phase of the game, if you normally open with a BC building to, Battle Mech or Bio or whatever, all those things that you would normally have to stop any of those units are just not here for the Terran.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we just see like a deja vu from Pillars of Gold, where it's just like enough Corruptors to take out the BCs and then enough ground army to take out absolutely everything else. Because getting this scout off as well with this Overseer, the Changeling, and being like, oh, okay, you go mech again after the BC opening, except this time I'm super far ahead. I got to give INnoVation a bit of credit, though. To say he was like 30 supply against 18 not too long ago, and now he's at 80 versus like 118, he definitely knows how to macro.
He's brought that BC back. Now, Reynor does have those 8 Corruptors on the way. They're not quite here yet. The Hellion count's still able to keep these Lings at bay, so INnoVation at least not taking too much follow-up damage. Oh, okay, there's still a lot more drones to work on here with this BC. Spore Crawler zoning, still a lot of Queens, and Reynor's got 11 Queens here, and 8 of them are going mobile.
Oh, the Queen's getting right on under that BC right there. And oh, the Rocha's being used to attack as well here for Reynor. So dealing with those Hellions at INnoVation's own home here. The Corruptors are now on the map doing the chase for that BC, and INnoVation knows it. GG. Tied up the series, 2-2.
Oh. Ace match, baby. Get hyped, chat. We got ourselves a game 5. I am so pumped to see one map to decide things and who's going to be in the semifinals next against Trap. Oh my God. Could it be INnoVation, or will Reynor keep the dream alive? I mean, once again, I just want to start the game immediately, but we've got to break down that game. We kind of broke down the game during the game because there were periods of non-action. You know what I mean? So it was sort of like, you know, we explained that INnoVation didn't really have an answer to anything that Zerg would follow up with at that point, just because of the amount of, I guess, resources and time and SCVs that he put into putting that 3-rack store at the start of the game.
Yeah, I definitely... So INnoVation can definitely be the guy that I do think is super duper smart, right? And maybe he didn't have the time to quickly do the rewind and see that exactly how Reynor was scouting and stuff, because Reynor's been almost overly prepared for any kind of proxy shenanigans to go his way. But INnoVation now knows that he can't be really doing that kind of stuff against him anymore, which, yeah, I am unsure what INnoVation is going to whip out this time, because it's going to be on Eternal Empire to finish this off, Maynard, which is a super good map for like those macro games. You can play bio or mech on it. I think this is also a very good map for Reynor in the sense that there isn't anything that is like a super neat pocket strategy to throw out here. The only thing I can potentially think of is maybe that those destructible rocks outside your natural could potentially be utilized for some kind of like tank marine push. I've never really known INnoVation to do these kind of wonky like 2-base all-ins like Maru has done in the past. We'll see what he's
doing. We're going to take a... Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to cut you off there. All right, we're going to take a short break here just for a couple minutes as INnoVation's requested a bit of a break. When we return, though, it's going to be game 5, so it's absolutely worth the wait. We'll see you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. I am Maynard. With me is the Muslim, and you are watching Reynor versus INnoVation, and this one is really paying off. We're going all the way to Game 5. It's going to be an Eternal Empire where I feel like we've had the longest, the craziest, and the most fun TVZs in recent memory. Ben, are you as excited as I am?
I'm really pumped to see what they both bring out here, because I think one thing I really want to see is then both get to their comfort zone. Because so far, I really feel that INnoVation kind of took the wind out of Reynor's sails in the first 2 games. And these last 2 games have been Reynor getting an edge and just leaning on it, right? Like absolutely leaning on it. But getting into Eternal Empire, that is absolutely a map where I feel that they both really can get to their comfort zones, the macro stages of the game, and really go toe-to-toe against one another. And speaking of spawning in the top right-hand side, this is match point, guys, for either one of them. It is Reynor.
And an appropriately epic riff. Let's see if we got one here in the bottom left for the Kaiser Gaming Terran. For the last time in this map, it is INnoVation.
Whoever goes through at this point out of these 2, like, they definitely earned it, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's hard to argue. Anyone that brings up any kind of excuse for whatever happened in this series is like, all right, you get to game 5, the player's this good, this kind of caliber. Everyone's got advantages and disadvantages, but this game 5 is going to decide it all, and it's going to be high level AF.
And like, I'm really looking at this too, how the series went. Like, INnoVation got those first 2 wins, but the fact that Reynor's been able to keep his composure and just really get back into this, it definitely shows that the youngster, like, he's a long way away from those guys that get tilted, you know. It's like, oh, I lost a map, now I'm going to lose the series. Like, no, this guy, he's absolutely turning into a super duper beast, not only in the European scene, but the fact that he's made top 2 at BlizzCon, now he's doing what he's done. He just won WCS EU, basically. Like, oh, he's so darn good these days.
Yeah, I mean, he's, BlizzCon second place is still like $90,000. And he was only 17 when he accomplished it. So obviously his career has barely begun. Reynor is already making tons of money playing this game. And as a result, he's cocky, he's confident, but he has the skills to back it up. He's not just talk. He has the skills. And that when things go wrong for Reynor, when he loses maps, when he loses series, he does seem just so come what may, happy-go-lucky. He's like, oh, that's fine. I've got a lot more time to play the next round or the next season, and I'll be the champion that time.
Certainly. This game, though, there was no SVs on the map, or at least non-proxying barracks and stuff, and Reynor did not spot any of those proxies that he was hopefully looking for. This game, though, is a little bit different. Reynor actually goes to speed before throwing down his 3rd base. Maybe that was because of the SCV that was kind of occupying the 3rd location there. INnoVation, on the other hand, he goes to the Reaper, then the Marine, and the Factory follow-up. So very, very standard by both of these guys.
I'm very happy to see that. Nothing makes me sadder than a game 5 where the other guy just rushes the other guy, and you have this giant map with potential of a late game split. But it just ends with an all-in, and you're like, okay, well, I guess he defended/didn't defend and won/lost. One of those situations. The Marines are out again for INnoVation. Once again, this usually leads into battle cruisers, as Mapu was showing us, but 3rd CC here for INnoVation. Now, that actually could be a still battle cruiser, but just going into 3rd CC before the big tier 3 flying unit.
And a 3rd CC starts before any production on the starport, and actually he delayed his Hellion production just a little bit to get down that 3rd much sooner. So for the first time in this series, pretty much, we're having the 3rd CCs actually start before the 3rd hatch of Reynor, and also that is a ridiculously early lair for Reynor, I feel.
Yeah, just trying to go up the tech tree a little bit. Maybe he just feels like cutting too many corners against INnoVation in Game 5 is going to be a mistake.
I don't dislike it at all. Like, getting the Baneling nest up, you can get, like, Baneling speed up very, very early. I do like the changes that both these guys are doing to one another. Like, getting the Viking out now to kind of deny scouting this time, as opposed to just relying on the Overlord seeing everything and then killing it with the Marines. We're having the early stim again, so it looks like it will be bio for Inno.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so no battle cruiser here. It's just a 3cc battle and bio follow-up. And it's going to get that 2nd and 3rd barracks here in a second as the Factory switches over for Tech Lab. Looks like he wanted to reactor there for a second, but decided the Tech Lab in the end.
And we're having the 2nd and 3rd barracks being produced before the engineering base. That's totally standard nowadays. Now we get the engineering base going down. So very, very standard for INnoVation. That's a pretty darn quick spire by Reynor, by the way. And yeah, I know, wow. Like, It's not an all-in Spire by any means. He's still producing drones. He's got the Baneling nest up. It's not as if he skipped everything to get to here. But it's definitely early. Like, INnoVation has to figure out what he's up against fairly soon. Otherwise, Mutas could absolutely wreak havoc on his side of the map.
Yeah, INnoVation's been poking around with these Hellions a little bit here. Surrounded by the Lings, though. Oh, good catch from Reynor in the middle of the map there.
Yeah, and that means that this creep spread can definitely get out of control now. Not having to worry about those creep tumors getting cancelled anymore. You can't cancel them yourself anymore. So once they do start producing, that's it. So realizing you can get away, oh my gosh, a fresh mule going down immediately at the third base of INnoVation. Reynor's definitely getting a few little edges here in game 5.
Yeah, just a bit of chip damage, a little bit of here, a little bit there, and of course all of it stacks up in the end as things do snowball a lot in StarCraft when people are as high level as they are. We got the Spire about to finish as 1-1 upgrades are kicking in for the Terran, and with this early Spire, and with Reynor banking up quite a bit of gas, we're going to see a good cluster of Mutas, and he even starts +1 flyer attack, so seems like he's committing quite a bit to Mutalist production for at least the next short while.
Yeah, like +1 started for air before his Evos even started on the map, pretty much. Lots of Mutas will be coming out onto the map, 8 in the first wave. And Reynor, he's doing some nice moves here as well, getting the Overlord spreading creep, then bringing over the Queens. Like, sometimes this is only stuff you see from, like, the TLOs of the world, but he's really prioritizing that creep spread. And with those Hellions going down earlier, I like these kind of little different plays that he has.
He's got his 1-1 upgrades going down for the melee units of the Zerg. So looks like Ling, Bane, Muta, but with just a lot more emphasis on the Muta. Baneling speed starts here. Reynor just once again just trying to find chip damage. A little bit here, a little bit there. Grabs an SCV, tries to grab the Viking, and he's just trying to gut check INnoVation here, making sure that he is keeping on top of these Mutas.
I'm really liking this situation for Reynor. Like, this drone count Maynard right now, like 80 drones versus 51 SCVs. I don't even think anything happened here, but somehow Reynor's just managed to get such an economy lead. It's insane.
He does have a bit of a, his army isn't super great in a stand-up fight against what INnoVation has right now. Marines with Stim +1 upgrades and also combat shield and medevac support. That's not really something that Mutas can trade against. He really needs to get a few more Banelings here at that 4th base if he wants to just collapse on this army of INnoVation and take a very one-sided engagement.
Look how Reynor's playing this, though. Like, he's got the Mutas ready to pick off the reinforcements, which is a beautiful position. INnoVation had to, like, stack up a bit of his army, which he has done. Reynor's buying time for his own +1/+1. Does have a supply lead, which is 160 to 132. INnoVation's having to play so patient at trying to push this 4th of Reynor.
Yeah, but that is conversely giving time for Reynor to get not only a few more Banelings, but Baneling speed, which is going to finish in a second here. There it is, and a Ling counterattack at the 3rd base as well. Reynor going to find damage on the Terran side. Can he hold the aggression, though? Picks on a tank with the Mutalists. This is looking very good for Reynor so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure what INnoVation's really meant to do against this right now. Like, Reynor's got units on INnoVation's side of the map. He's got enough to defend by the looks of it. Reynor's playing so patiently, just throwing a few Banelings in here and there. These trades weren't necessarily the best, but he does have a lot of units. Now his 1-1 has finished. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just waiting for INnoVation to make any sort of mistake. Oh, he's actually going for him, Maynard.
Looks like he's got a lot more Banelings here at the north side. The flank was a little bit light, but those Banelings are starting to come on in. Nice flips from INnoVation, though. All the Banelings getting down there. Is there enough Marines to hold on? The answer is no. The Mutalist count's still a little bit too high, and he gets 14 more SCVs at the 3rd as well. He had some Banelings morph next to the 3rd command center. I'm sorry we missed that, but more Banelings 3rd at the command center, and they got into the mineral line, killing so many more SCVs. Now there is a 33 worker lead for the Zerg, and he's got a bigger army.
You know what this game says to me? It really feels like INnoVation was like, you know what, my macro's damn good. I'm going to go for a really early 3rd, and I'm not even going to try and slow down your economy. You try and keep up with me. But Reynor was really like, are you really going to play that game with me, son? And Reynor just absolutely blew everything INnoVation had out the water, trying to out-macro Reynor at this point. He's such a beast. That being said, INnoVation, he is finishing up his 2+2 pretty soon, and +2 armor for Reynor has only just started. The supplies are so incredibly in favor of the young Italian, though.
They are. I always feel like when you have 2-2 as a Terran and you have a good chunk of army, specifically if you have a good number of tanks and a lovely account of Marines, you can kind of just upset the fact that the Zerg has a lot more drones than you, as long as you take a good fight. It's all about the armies fighting in the end when it comes to StarCraft, right? And if your army can win the battle, then you can win the war. You can just... This is game 5. You need one really, really good fight here as INnoVation. You can potentially just capitalize on that advantage and start getting off to the hatcheries, start getting to the drone lines, and the Zerg doesn't have breathing room to get those banelings anymore. But that said, it still is looking very good for Reynor. He's actually catching the Terran off creep here with a lot of Ling Bane. Marines trying to pull back with a little bit of target fire, but these mutas, every time he pulls back, those mutas are just picking things off one at a time because they're just so fast.
The thing is, even if some of these fights don't look too bad for INnoVation, every fight that happens, INnoVation's losing like 10, 20 supply, and Reynor's, I actually haven't seen it go down for like the past couple of minutes. Yeah, he's getting all the upgrades that he needs. He's now getting Infestation Pit, which means his tier 3 is late, but 85 drones against 44 SCVs, and he can pick and choose where he wants to fight right now. INnoVation did a good job of evacuating this third base. But again, look at the supply, Maynard. And INnoVation knows